Hello and welcome to another edition of the One Team We Agree On. I'm Jillian.
And I'm Kyle. How are you today?
I am doing a little better. I have been electrolyting myself up for the last like 2 days or so. I've got
Yeah,
severely dehydrated and yeah, dehydration is no joke.
it's really not. But
Yeah, but doing okay. And yeah, it's been okay today though.
yeah, and we hope everybody had a happy 4th of July.
Yeah.
Um, we had a great time until the storm hit. And
Yeah, I didn't get to take part in much of the festivities. I was honestly just on the couch watching the World Cup, not because that's what I wanted to do, it's because I didn't feel that great. So,
yeah,
but yeah, we had a nice time though at my brother's and sister-in-law's. So, yeah. And then yeah, the storm went crazy and then everyone just was inside watching the World Cup.
yeah. So anyway, I hope everybody had a great time. A lot of great videos out there on social media, people enjoying Philadelphia, which is
Mhm.
awesome. Great to see. And so we're back here. Thought we'd record one today. Um, and just talk about our thoughts. We haven't recorded other than the episode with Mark, which was an excellent interview about his book. And, we've been active, obviously, with the articles, but yeah, we
Yeah.
just wanted to get back and just kind of record our thoughts for a little bit.
Yeah, we got a little bit behind because of me not feeling well. So,
And then just
yep,
our daily
being busy.
schedules.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just has been a busy summer, busier than we thought. But
Yeah.
anyway, we got a lot to discuss. So before we get started, what are we wearing today?
Wearing my USA kit. All right.
It's going to be a
Yeah,
flash tomorrow against Belgium,
USA. And of course the big news.
which we'll
Which
get
we'll
to.
get to. But yeah, USA. Yeah, and of course it being America's 250th yesterday.
Yeah. And I'm wearing your birth the birthday gift you gave me.
Yeah.
It's a nice little Las Vegas lights
And
on the back. I'm not
yeah.
gonna get up there
Yeah,
and
but
shit, but it's the Vegas strip on the back.
yeah.
So, you gave me Vegas for my birthday, and that was nice of
Yeah.
you. But where can people find us?
You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. And we have our website, theoneteamweagreeon.com. Find us on socials at TOTWAG on Twitter and on Blue Sky. We're on Facebook and Instagram at the One Team We Agree On. You can find me at silly double underscore Jilly on Twitter and Instagram. I'm also on TikTok at Jillian underscore Almany. And Kyle, you can be found at Coach Almany on Twitter and Instagram, although you don't really do Instagram that much. And yeah, and Blue
Yeah.
Sky.
So let's get into this. No clips or comments. I mean, we had some stuff lined up from like 2 weeks ago when we were going to record, and
Yeah.
then it just kept getting pushed.
Just go check our socials for a
Yeah,
lot of stuff that
yeah.
we put out.
So if you want to get caught up on what we've been doing, yeah,
Had a lot of
exactly.
good player interviews. Woo, yes.
But
Yeah.
anyway, let's just, I got some notes here. A lot of this is from when we wanted to record originally, but a
Yeah.
lot has changed even in the last hour.
Right.
Um, let's first talk about the biggest news. World Cup is in America. We really haven't gotten into this.
Yeah.
Um, just talk to me about your overall thoughts. And credit to you, because you're on summer break
Yeah.
teaching, you've been able to watch all the
I
matches.
mean, most of them, let's be
Yeah,
honest. And it was perfect timing. My first day of summer break, World Cup began. My first day of summer break also, it was like I went to union training, Union 2, and so that was like just perfect timing. But yeah, I've been lucky to be able to watch most of the matches. And I mean, sometimes they've been going on while I was had practice or something. But yeah, I followed them for the most part. And it's been fun for sure. Um, and I've been really impressed by a number of things. First of all, the three host nations have been crushing it. Canada, US, and Mexico. I think that the fan experience unfortunately I wasn't able to take part in it personally at a World Cup game, but it just looks like it's been fantastic for anyone who's attended the fan fests around the country. I mean, Philly just crushing it with the Lemon Hill fan fest there and various things going on around the area. But um, I don't think that I can recall so much, like, I don't know, it's just been awesome. You had the Tartan Army from Scotland doing their thing, putting cones on statues, going down the cop slide in Boston with, bagpipes and all that. Like, just all the different things bringing the world together has been fantastic. And, just people from all walks of life getting behind this too. So it's been really a great thing to bring the world together when, let's be honest, there's been a lot of contentious things going on, and the country has felt so divided at times here, of course, but this has been honestly just wonderful.
Yeah, you mentioned Tartan Army. Let
Bad
me.
about Scotland being out of it, but
Yeah, I
they were
know.
a joy. They were a joy.
But also like Norway doing the
Ah,
row.
I've been such
I,
a fan of Norway.
but
Yeah.
And to that point, the videos of Scotland and Germany partying. I mean, we
Hmm.
heard reports that, those two countries basically ran Boston out of beer at some point. But
Yeah.
beyond that, seeing like in Mexico, like
Yeah.
even Mexico trying to keep up England's national team, we saw on social media.
Just so many stories coming out.
There's so many stories, and we're gonna get into that in a
Yeah.
second. But honestly, like shout out to Jimmy King,
Hmm.
sharing the stories from Philly. Our friends Todd, Jose, and Mike getting to go to the game in France against France and
Yeah.
Paraguay yesterday. But the job that Jose's done, just covering this and others,
Yeah.
just bringing these stories to life, and just not in Philly, but across the country. I do feel that even in Canada and Mexico, there's so many good stories that it feels different. Obviously, 94 is just US.
Yeah.
Um, but it feels a little different that beyond just soccer globally,
Yeah.
I think where does, from the USL standpoint, lower leagues, but even MLS, where does this go from?
Yeah, I mean, this is something huge that could really get more people tuned into soccer. It's like, oh, hey, this was really exciting to watch. Oh, we happen to have a local team that plays pro soccer in the Philadelphia Union, or this could be the case in other areas as well,
Like Brooklyn, or
Yeah, just like
even like
just around MLS, this could really draw up some talent. And
or USL too, like
you know, so-
Reading,
just
Penn,
mhm.
even PA Classics that played Spooky Nook here in
PA
Lancaster.
Classics where Christian Pulisic played. We claim him in Lancaster County because he played at PA Classics, which is in Lancaster County. But honestly, like just the little stories that come out, and just, you know, um, the fact that the international community has really appreciated a lot of American culture. I mean, don't even get me started on the whole ranch thing. I mean, ranch is good, but it's like, okay. But
There's a lot of other
my
things.
middle schoolers would tell you it's amazing on pizza, and they love it too. But it's the little stories coming out, and then, how these home cities have really gotten behind um the teams that were there. Like, was it Kansas City with like the Algerians, or
Yeah,
like stuff like that, like super cool. Um
that's the
yeah.
one where I was hoping that Ivory Coast would do something in Philly, but we were talking about that in media game with a couple of people in media, like our understanding is they went to train, went back to where their hotels. Like you didn't really see the videos of them exploring, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I felt like no, it's not to say they didn't have a great time. Not saying
Yeah.
that at all. Just would love to see more. You get where I'm
Yeah,
going with
yeah, I
it?
do.
Yeah.
I do. One thing that, of course, got to bring up is Cape Verde.
I
Oh,
mean, we can talk
I
about
mean,
that.
I just like I can't go through this podcast without mentioning
Oh yeah.
what a game that was. I mean, them against Argentina, and the, tiny country, you know, almost pulling off the probably the greatest upset ever
It
there.
probably would have been.
Yeah, that was, I mean, that was amazing. And talking to even people who I know don't even follow soccer, but they watched that game, you're like, wow, I actually really liked that, and I don't like soccer, or that sort of those sorts of attitudes,
Yeah.
and Vizinha like playing out of his mind, as a 40-year-old goalkeeper, like good for him. Just I thought that was just awesome, awesome, awesome. And I think when all is said and done, people are gonna remember how well Cape Verde played as opposed to Argentina winning that, you know? Like I think that
No, that's a fair point.
yeah.
I'm not going to add much to that, only that, Jamiro Montero was there.
Yeah.
Um, Former Philadelphia Union midfielder. That was cool to see him, getting some playing time. I think for me, like hearing that story and then just seeing these stories coming out
Mhm.
about him, his mom coming to
Yeah.
matches. Also, there was one where like the reporter was just interviewing a fan and it turned out to be his dad, and the guy was like, "What?" Like those kind of stories, and like I hope somebody like I'm not saying MLS. I see like all the people like I don't know how true this is. Like he's gonna go to Inter Miami, like okay, honestly, like let the guy go. Maybe he gets something out of this. Obviously, we hear stories like this, like goalkeepers can play well into their 40s.
Yeah.
Like hopefully he gets something out of this because his story is really fascinating. I even
Yeah.
saw Roman report like he watched soccer videos. Now I don't know how true that is, but like the resources there compared to like Argentina, like
Yeah.
England, like even in America,
Yeah.
in that country in Cabo Verde, like very limited resources.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's just a
Just
fascinating
I
story.
just love all the stories though coming out of the World Cup here. It's been amazing to watch. And so I really hope that more and more people really buy into soccer and see, oh, it's not boring, you know? Like some people are like, oh, it's boring. They end in 0-0 draws. And of course the number of
I said on
penalty
the
shootout.
station today
Yeah.
about the flops, and
Yeah.
let's not get into that.
Yeah.
I saw a take by a prominent, I'll say, content creator. I don't know how much writing he does,
Mhm.
saying that basically this World Cup does everything for the Prem and does nothing for MLS. And I'm like, okay, I get it. We haven't seen much coverage of MLS.
Yeah.
Or like, advertisements. I get that. I get
Yeah.
that. Um, I do think this brings a bigger awareness to soccer in America, in my opinion.
It does. It does. Just like every 4 years when there's the Olympics.
Exactly.
Swimming gets more of a platform
Yes.
and we see a rise in registrations on our team. But yeah, so this has been great. And then of course the US, like making everybody believers here.
Um,
Um
what honestly, I think the U.S. has done well. I mean, everybody's gonna say about Turkey, but that was their second team. Let's be honest. That was like all the best.
yeah, they that I don't worry about
I
that one.
don't worry about that. Just like there's been a couple other games. I think their best match to point to date has been the first round game. I mean,
Against Paraguay.
yeah. I mean, no one
Yeah.
saw that coming.
No, they definitely got to a great start there. And then of course,
You
you know,
get the 2-0 result against Australia, and then even against Bosnia, you go down a man, which we'll get to.
yeah.
But Matt Freese gets two clean sheets in the World Cup. I mean,
Mhm.
here's a Philadelphia, area kid that, hey,
Is Europe going to be calling for him?
I,
I hope so for him. I mean, he's been doing great.
he's gonna
And
get
that would
that
get him
sell,
also out of NYCFC. So
and also you get a little sell-on clause on that
yeah,
one.
yeah.
So, I mean, I remember talking about that. You see a lot of these players, or I shouldn't say a lot, but a majority of these American players coming out MLS academies, even
Yeah.
some South American and around the world
Hmm.
players that came up through America, maybe had dual citizenships. I think it's a good story.
Yeah.
Um, I've just been so impressed also with we heard about the ticket sales, and obviously I still love Marlon's comment when we went to Brooklyn. The guy was like, "Have you ever tried to get Knicks?" Marlon's like, "Have you ever tried to get Knicks tickets?" When that one guy
Oh
asked
yeah.
about, "What do you think about these outrageous prices?" He's like,
Yeah.
"Buddy, like you gotta
Yeah.
understand this is how it is." The crowds have been great,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
and
Absolutely.
I just think you hope that we even said that you hope this brings more people into it.
Hmm.
I really do think it is.
Yeah, I agree. And do we want to talk about, yeah, USA versus Bosnia?
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, that was a great performance. You're up 1-0, and then Flo gets the red card.
Yeah, after he was the goal scorer, of course. And yeah,
And then they held on,
that was that.
Tillman gets that nice free kick goal.
Yeah,
And again, it goes back to the Americans are not going into a match hoping anymore. I saw somebody
yeah.
write that. There is that sense of confidence. I mean, even with Pulisic, who missed, you know, played basically what now? I think match and a half.
Hmm.
Who's he's been excellent. I just think that there's a different sense of belief.
Yeah.
And with Belgium coming on, I mean, Belgium's been like
Hmm.
everybody's about to beat Belgium, and then,
It's gonna be a tough match. I mean, Bosnia, they're a good team, and for the US to hang on there down a man, like they really dug deep and had, you know, a strong performance there. Like that fight that you saw from them was fantastic.
it was. Uh, and now with
Now,
Balogun getting his red card rescinded, which is still a developing story.
from
I
what I
mean,
heard, it's like his red card was suspended. Yeah,
it's
like
basically a probation period where
yeah,
if he commits a similar foul, like now instead of one match, he'll miss two subsequent. So if he commits one, then he's out for. I mean, he could be.
yeah. So this whole thing we just heard about this morning. I mean, this is yeah, it's interesting development, but I think definitely the whole country was brought together with the whole free Balogun thing.
Uh,
Thing, uniting the country.
I
What can
get
I say?
that. Is it a foul? Yeah,
Yeah, I think it could have easily
it
definitely
could
been a
be a
yellow
yellow
card,
card.
but a red card from everyone that I know that actually knows rules and stuff. They thought, no, it shouldn't have been a red. It should have been a yellow.
We, I think the biggest thing was it was, from what FIFA stated, it was slowed down. That's not
Right.
protocols, and that's why they reviewed it. There's no appeal process, yeah,
Yeah.
which is wild. Like, why did you
Yeah.
not have appeals process like most leagues
Hmm.
do?
Yeah.
I, I don't know. I think at the end of the day, it's the right call, but I saw somebody like saying, like showing Trump giving $1 million. Like,
Uh,
can we leave
I don't
politics?
want to get political on this
Yeah,
at
we're
all.
not. Like, can we just leave
Could something have happened there? Sure, but I don't.
let's not
I
get
don't even want to touch that right
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
But what I do want to point out is the really classy response that Balogun had when he was asked about, getting the red card. Like basically he said, you
Yeah,
know, the I how basically talking about how he wanted to react to that, because there's, boys and girls, watching him. He wants to set a good example. And
exactly.
I love that. That's
I
class.
I think, especially you coaching younger kids, you want to set examples. And so I give him credit for that. And he's been excellent. I just have been very impressed. And I think, as I was about to say earlier, if there is a time to beat this Belgian team, now's the time.
Hmm.
Obviously they're going to be very tough. And
Yeah.
then if the Union, you, sorry, it's a Union podcast. If the U.S. get um, beyond them,
Hmm.
they're going to have to deal with Portugal and Spain.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a very tough bracket. And I remember early on, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, if this like after the first round, if this all works out." U.S. could have an easy bracket. Well, now it's not. I mean, let's say they get past Spain or Portugal, you're probably going to run into France or
Mhm.
Morocco and be
Oh gosh.
good.
And Morocco, like they pulled that one out. Like,
They're
yeah,
they're 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 making a run. That's going to be an intriguing matchup if they
yeah.
both teams make it.
Because
So,
Morocco definitely did not look like the better team for the first half. Canada looked good, but then Morocco just
who's
made
your
it.
top three right now? Best looking teams
Right now, I mean,
to get to semis. Let's put it that way.
yeah. Well, I mean, France, even though they only won by the penalty kick by Mbappe, still they're formidable.
Is that correct pronunciation?
France.
No, no, no. Mbappe.
Mbappe, yeah.
Yeah, I know. You know I'm doing it.
Yeah, I do know what you're doing
Hey,
here.
winner.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, I would say Argentina, but you know what? Cape Verde proved that Argentina can be possibly beaten, you know.
I
I mean,
agree
they
with that. I agree with
um
that. But now they're gonna have Egypt.
yeah.
You expect them to advance. Anything can happen in these
Yeah.
World Cup games.
And then I think Spain.
Spain, Spain's just
I
been,
don't know. Morocco's kind of the dark horse to me, and I don't.
yeah.
And God, if the U.S. ends up getting to the point where they have to face them, I'd be like, oh God, here you go again, because we know how it's, Morocco's been a thorn in the U.S.'s side in these games.
I'm very intrigued by the matchups today.
Yes,
And we're recording
I am on
Tuesday.
that Norway like hype train.
I mean, Norway versus Brazil
I am stoked for that. Um,
and Mexico versus England. I can
yeah,
see Mexico. It's Studio Azteca. That's
yes,
those two matches are going to be very. I mean, it would not shock me at the end of the round of 16 that the CONCACAF survivor is Mexico. It
yeah,
would not. It
yeah,
would not only because you gotta go to Mexico and play in that stadium. That is
yeah.
a tough environment. So
Yeah. Well, let me say, all the memes and like things being put out there through all this have been elite. And I love the you know, Danny Rojas and Jamie Tart thing I saw put out there for
by
Mexico.
the way,
And
if that was an actual matchup, I think Tart would cook.
phew,
He would.
yeah, we're big Ted Lasso fans.
Um,
But yeah, that and like all the Norway stuff, especially like all Holland stuff, just has been amazing. Like I like Holland, but like
Neil Seal, he's beaten.
okay, so the what Kyle's talking about here for listeners is I was saying how my TikTok feed, like all of it is Holland stuff and Neil the Seal. If you don't know what I'm talking about with Neil the Seal, it's this big elephant seal down in Tasmania, and it's just like that in Holland. Like every time I turn on go on TikTok, it's like Holland, Holland, or it's like him Holland doing his like song that he did like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
And yeah, like and singing Norwegian or whatever. And like yeah, it just that's like clogging up my feed. So anyway, but it's
but
been great. Like
I still
yeah.
think my favorites right now are France.
Yeah.
I'm also very high on Colombia. I just think Colombia,
Hmm,
they're just one of these teams that has not maybe had amazing results,
right.
but they just, there's that belief like America, but there's a little bit maybe more talent. I think if Spain gets through Portugal, and has to face, either Belgium or US, they got an easy window and anything can happen there.
Fun fact, I'm like 2% Portuguese, which I did not know. Specifically Canary Islands. I have no idea like how that happened in my family.
Interesting.
No, yeah, just fun fact of the day.
But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, so let's move on to some union news.
Yes. Despite, them not being, the first team playing, no, there's been lots of union news plus union too. So,
So, shall we
yes.
get into staff updates?
Yeah, let's do that.
I know Todd and Jose touched on it.
Yeah.
But you,
I've
uh,
seen them firsthand at training.
yeah. So, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about training in a little bit, but
Yeah.
let's talk about the news.
Yeah, so of course everyone knows that Ryan Richter is the interim head coach for the union, but his supporting staff, the assistants, well, brought up some from Union 2 and the academy as well. So you have Fred, you have Henry Appaloo, and Ben Moan. They have joined him. Um, of course, Fred and Henry were at Union 2 as his assistants,
Yes.
and both of them coached at the academy before, and Ben Moan was the U15 coach. So they've joined him, and then staying on are Frank Leicht and Phil Wedden. Yeah.
For those that don't know, can you talk a little bit about Ben Moon?
So yeah, as the U15 coach back in 2025, he started um, in the winter of 2025 with them, and they won the MLS Next Cup. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
and he's had college stops at Stanford and
yeah,
Boston College. Obviously, John Shear, knowing his background in the college at University of Delaware, I mean, he was very solid,
mhm,
highly thought of. Um, he's had some success. We've watched Ben's
mhm,
teams.
yeah,
I mean, they've
yeah.
been. Uh,
U15s actually went the deepest in the MLS Next Cup playoffs this year. So,
I know.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, again, it's important to say, we see, the reports out there, and obviously, I mean, John's going to do his due diligence, look
yeah,
for other options. He did. It's important to say he just like Union Way, they want to promote within,
yeah.
and I think that's a big sticking point. But they're also going to see if there are better options.
But yeah, I think, that's, the academies, they're off for the summer now. So those coaches, they already know the system and everything.
Yeah,
Um, and, you know, we talk about the player pathway, but also the coaches have pathway. I mean, look at Ryan Richter. How cool is it that, he gets drafted by the union, plays a bit for them. And of course, then when he's done, he's coaching with the academy, starting with
yep.
like the young, the develop, the like, really young guys, and moves his way up through the academy eventually with the first team under Jim Curtin and then Union 2. And here he is, interim first team coach. Like, what a rise for Ryan Richter. You love to see that. And
And
then these
how
other coaches too.
Well, and the
Yeah.
other thing, we'll say this right now, like he's still involved in the swag, like
Yeah.
coaching those young kids. I
Yeah.
mean, here's a first team interim coach,
Hmm.
still coaching eight and unders,
Yeah.
in his free time. And that's a credit to him. That's a character, that's a belief.
And you can tell he loves it. Like
Yeah,
he's talked about it. We've seen him on the swag clips and everything too. And yeah.
I just think that's a really cool story that even though right now he's the first team coach, he still finds time
Hmm.
to go out there and work with the young kids. I
Yeah.
mean, trust me, being in the swimming world, that is very rare. But I can tell you a lot of the national team coaches love working with the young kids because it just gets back to the love of the game. And I
It
think
keeps it
that's
in perspective.
exactly, exactly. And then we also know that honestly, second team names.
Yeah. So of course Chris Harmon as the interim Union 2 head coach, but he's assisted by a number of academy coaches with him. So Alex Ainscough and Phil Karn have joined him on that staff. Alex is the U13 coach, Phil Karn is the U14 coach, and Ross Kane's still on there. And then Chad Balbeck, he is one of the goalkeeping coaches. Well, he's academy goalkeep
But
coach.
he's been up there a
He
lot.
he he's up there a lot anyway. But yeah, and especially I've seen like when Ross hasn't been there,
Yeah.
Chad has been. But yeah, and there's I think there's been a couple other coaches I've seen there too, um but yeah, that's pretty much it's Chris with some of the academy guys. And if people are wondering what about Peter McDonald, the U16 coach from the academy, fantastic coach. I would have loved to have seen him have a role in all of this, but
Can I say something hot take?
what
Would love to see him take over as academy director.
I think, yeah, from what I've heard, he's qualified for it.
He's qualified.
But I've never heard anything but good things about Coach Pete. And honestly, whatever I know some people are running, well, where is he? Where is he? Well, from what I understand, he's going on to new ventures. And so, I wish him the best in that. But yeah, I would have loved to seen him stick around the union because he brings a lot.
He does. I think, especially Alex. I've seen things with the 13s here and there.
Hmm.
They've been really excellent. I know Phil does a good job
Hmm.
as well.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the other.
Yeah. So, of course, with all the shuffling of everything, John Shear being now the sporting director, having been the academy director, now Paul Killian is the director of the academy. And so he is now in the spot that John Shear was.
How do you feel about Paul?
I mean, I honestly don't know him that well. I met him once at training. So he was the director of scouting.
He was.
Yeah, and so yeah, that's like I said, I
I mean, he's had pre. I mean, again, it
they've
goes back to.
they've had successful scouting. I've heard from people like from talking to players when I've interviewed them about the scouting process. They talked about
Oh yeah,
Paul and also Chris Manella, scouting and all that and had good experiences. Mhm.
Chris has been excellent. You
Yeah.
know, Paul's worked with John in the
Mhm.
past. And so they have that relationship. They
Mhm.
know how each other works. I think that's the important thing a lot of people are missing in this is,
Yeah.
again, relationships do bring success. They understand how each other works.
Yep.
So, I mean, I wish Paul the
Yep.
best. I, I'm curious. I hope Chris, because I've heard so much
I've
good
heard
thing.
really, really good things about Chris
Yes,
Manella.
I've heard
Yeah.
Chris is excellent. So,
Hmm.
hoping this is the next kind of phase of the academy. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, one thing's for certain, the academy has really produced some, great players. And so, I mean, I'm back to with Tommy Wilson and,
Yeah.
it's just definitely been a really good pipeline. And you see even at the national team level, the impact that the Union's academy and pipeline has had. Um, but yeah,
Let's move on.
yeah.
So we have a wave with
Hmm.
first team, and I don't think this is a surprise. I really don't.
Yeah.
I
Not
mean,
surprised.
Philadelphia Waves defender Olivier Mbazo. Mbazo signed in 2018. Made 150 appearances across all competitions. 96 starts, 13 assists. Um, and he played in a lot. He played in the 2022 MLS Cup final, and we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to
Nope.
talk about the 2021 Eastern Conference
We're
Finals.
not going to talk about the time you thought that Bizo was going to be a top five back.
The worst take I've ever had, and one of the worst takes I ever had.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
beyond that, I think the writing was on the wall. I mean, he was making $500,000.
And not playing really.
He appeared in one MLS match this year. Um, I mean, Carnell even said he came in, it was a fitness concern, and you
Mhm.
could see his photos. I mean,
And then between that and then Frankie and Nate pretty much
yeah.
owning that position.
And then even you can even make a case for like Geo and
Yeah.
when the moment Bradley started going to LA
Yeah.
right back or like some of these other weird motions, it's like the writing was on the wall.
When you're opting to put someone like, you know, Ben Bender in the backline,
Right.
and not putting Bizo. I mean, I think you kind of see the writing on the wall there.
I mean, Jim always said he's a 10 out of 10 player when he's
Hmm.
focused, but when it's
Yeah.
not, it it's not. And I I honestly he I think he needs to go back to Europe with his family
Yeah.
and just find soccer, find the love again. I mean, when you make appearances with the national team, you made the World Cup squad with Cameroon
Yeah.
in the last cycle. I mean, okay, great. The talent's there. It's just the consistency is off the
That's the
wall.
problem. He like Bizo could be like a 10 out of 10, but when he's off, it's like
But
the
in
drop
recent,
off.
I mean,
Yeah.
2021 was his best year, obviously. 20, 2022, 2023, you started to see drop off, and then after that, it was like, where is he? And again, like you said, it's Frankie, it's Nate. I I still think if somebody can connect with him and figure him out,
Hmm.
the talent's there.
I hope he gets to play somewhere and that he can find, you know, his form again. So hopefully he can be
Yeah, I
successful.
mean, again,
He was always really nice to me when I saw him at training. So,
oh, he's always
but
been
he's
great.
very
Nice
friendly.
guy,
Yeah,
nice
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
It's just, hey, uh, I think the league's advanced.
Hmm.
In fact, I just don't think there's a place for him
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad to see Philadelphia figured out like, hey, 500,000, we can figure out something with either Academy or other players coming up
Yeah.
and or upcoming signings.
Yep.
So yeah.
And then another bit of news is Jim Curtin has been named to. he's been named as head coach for Austin FC next season. So,
Yeah, how you feel about that?
I mean, good on Jim for waiting for the right opportunity to come for him because he didn't really need to right away. He was being paid by the union through 2026. He could get spend some much deserved time with his family. And he's got kids and they're in school and everything. And so that's I think that was good for Jim to have that time and wait for the right opportunity. And I'm sure Jim's going to go and do a great job with Austin. And he's a fantastic coach. I'm excited to see what happens with him. Class individual. So, um, but yeah, I mean, he's he's definitely one that I want to see do well, just not against the Union.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
We listened to his press conference
Yeah.
today. He talked about Anthony Precourt, which Columbus Crew fans love,
Hmm.
because he basically
Hmm.
almost left that team without a club. And
Yeah.
but having said that, you know, Austin spends.
Yep.
Uh,
Jim will have a team that is willing to spend.
he's got some talent there.
Hmm.
Uh,
It's a cool city.
uh,
I mean, I've never been, but I want to go.
and we've heard from people that have.
Hmm.
It's a very cool city. I just
Loki
think
love their green color scheme too.
I think Jim said all the right things, but I also appreciate, like I said to Todd I think it was a couple weeks after that. It's like Jim thinks Jim seems like a guy that has had time to process
Hmm.
everything went right and went wrong in Philly,
Yep.
and is comfortable in his own skin. I think this is a very good move for him, and
Yeah.
I really hate to say that because I do think he's going to find success. And my other thing is not only current staff but former staff. How many of those joined Jim in Austin?
Hmm.
They still need to find a sporting director.
Yeah.
But even if Richter doesn't get the job,
Oh, I could totally see
Ryan going down
him
to Austin.
going there if he doesn't
Yeah,
stay on at the Union. So,
I mean, I'd even see Phil.
yeah.
I mean, depending on how the new regime shakes out, I
Hmm.
mean, either Phil or Frank. There's a lot of things. Now we don't know anything, but
No.
it's just us like just talking.
Right.
There's a lot of interesting things. The other thing is he talked about the academy, the successes in Philadelphia. Um, I think he's going to take what he took from Philly, and now he's got money to spend.
Yeah. So all the best to Jim. Like I said, just not against the Union when they play each other. But no, like Jim Curtin's a quality person. We
Oh,
wish him all the
absolutely.
best.
Yeah.
And the way he addressed the media and everything,
I mean, you
just
would expect nothing
yeah.
less.
So,
I think
um,
Austin's got a good one.
they do. Now, we have a lot of catching up to do with Union 2 because of course they've been playing this whole time. They've had some ups and downs. Um,
More ups recently,
yeah.
though. Won the last two out of three. I mean, that
Yeah.
loss was bad against Red Bulls, but
Yeah, and I mean, they go down to Orlando City B. They have a win there, which was awesome, on the road against a team that was, I think they were in third place at that point.
yeah,
So, they were bringing good performances against tough teams like Orlando and before that Crown Legacy,
yeah.
and these narrow losses in some cases. But, um, and I've been down to Union 2 training each week since I've been on summer break, so I get to see them in action and under Chris Harmon. And so it's there's been a lot of moving pieces, of course.
I mean,
Yeah.
so the Red Bulls 5-0 loss, right? Which is
I
like
take that as a fluke. That's a blip there.
I really do because watching the Orlando City
Hmm.
match
Yeah.
and then watching today's match, which we'll talk about in a little bit, against New England Revs 2,
Yeah.
you had a lot of those players that played the previous day
Yeah.
in the friendly against Houston
Yeah.
get subbed off.
Yeah.
I think it was limitations. Um, and honestly, I mean, three of the five goals were bangers. Like, there's nothing Hughes
Yeah.
could do about that. You also have a hat trick. I mean,
Yeah. So
it's just one of those things. We've seen this so many times in MLS Next Pro, more side on the Union, where they just
yeah.
go off on somebody. It is what it
They've
is.
had a tough time at Red Bull too on that turf field there at Montclair. We were up there last year. We went this year. And now when they did pick up, of course, the first time they played at Montclair this year, they had that 1-1 draw that they won the shootout.
Yeah.
George Marks, did his thing in that. And that was great. Um, this time around, like they're only down 1-0 for a good bit of the game. The the tough thing was just trying to even get shots off, and but they were hanging in there. And the tough thing was, yeah, you don't have Eddie or Malik. They played a good bit of the friendly the day before, so they didn't travel.
Hmm.
And then yeah, four players that played in the friendly that get subbed off in the 62nd minute, and that's when it really like got tough. Not long after that, it was first of all, you take out Rafael Uzcategui, who had played every minute of every game up to that point, but he got to play with the first team in the friendly, which good for him. Same with Gio and Kellen and Jordan, like those guys all got minutes with the first team, which you love to see that for them. And Chris Harmon said as much when I talked to him, and they're happy to see those players get that chance. And but yeah, it did make it real tough bringing those guys off because then it really started to unravel. But it was going to be, I think, a tall task no matter what when those changes had to happen. But I mean, it is what it is. But there were some positives too. Of course, you see Jet Harrison and Sammy Gallego, they made their pro debuts.
They did.
Yeah, and I talked to Jet about that. You can go see my clip with him. I have that on socials, and Jet talks about that, what that moment was for him. And so, I mean, that was cool to see for those two. Jet, of course, joined the U18s back in the winter. He made his debut with the Snow Bowl and was a part of the team that won at the Dallas Cup. He made two PKs in those games in the semifinal and in the final. And Sammy, he had a really good season with the 16s, played up with the 18s at times. So great for those guys. Just unfortunate result, of course. And, oh, of course, Union 2, they needed to regroup and they played at New England too this morning. It was an 11 a.m. game. And they showed quite the response. Of course, they had Eddie Davis and Malik Jakupovic
Hmm.
back up top. They had Mateus DePaula back up there. And Eddie had a hat trick.
Yeah.
And Kellen LeBlanc had his first goal of the season. So that was awesome to see. Pierce Holbrook, a clean sheet. They get the 4-0 win over New England Revolution 2, which you love to see because the last time those teams met, which was in Philly, New England won after that was the game where Sal had the sending off in the 31st
Yeah.
minute, and New England got the late goal and they celebrated like they won a championship. And so um yeah, so that was great to see. Great response. Andrew Craig had a fantastic game, and he came on as an early sub because Finn Sundstrom, he looked like he maybe re-aggravated his injury, possibly, but he left early on, like it was right at the first hydration break, like 33rd minute. So and Jordan Griffin wasn't able to play. Looked like he had some kind of injury going in, maybe picked up in warm up or something. So because he was announced in the starting lineup, but then he didn't play. Caden Moore played in his
Yeah.
place. But what a response by Union 2. That was a great game by them. And um, really well done. You love to see that.
Yeah, no, I think, Pierce has been excellent. There's been a lot of good things. Obviously, the coaching changes have been good. We uh we need to continue here. So um
Yeah. And
yeah, let's talk about the first team friendly against Houston.
yeah, so that was open to the season ticket holders last weekend on Saturday.
Yeah.
And so Houston, it was the return of Jack McGlynn. And I know Jack got a nice response from the fans that were there. And so that one was fun. That was in the rain. We were glad to be in the
Yeah.
press box for that one. So, um, you got to see some of the Union 2 players get in there as well. But Neil Pierre. Neil Pierre was in
Yeah,
there, which was great. And
it
you
was.
see him linking up with these guys. Well, first of all, the Union open up scoring. Cavan gets a nice goal there. And so it's 1-0. And I really liked how he linked up with Frankie on a lot of
I did
occasions
too.
there. They really play well together, which isn't any surprise at all. And Neil as well with them. And Neil just like lobs the ball up forward. Frankie gets it and just does this cheeky little chip over the keeper of Houston and gets the goal. So they had the 2-0 lead. They end up conceding to the 15-year-old from Houston, who
Yep.
looked pretty good. But in the end, then there's like a late goal, so it's a draw 2-2 in the end. But that one was a lot of fun, and Jack, seeing him play back there was cool. Bunch of, like I said, a bunch of Union 2 guys got in as well. So yeah, it was fun to see what they could do. And hey, that was like the first, match for Ryan Richter as first
Yeah.
team head coach. So hey, good stuff.
I thought technically they looked good.
Mhm.
I thought the first half, especially, I mean, the
Yeah,
second half, Jenner misses that.
yeah,
Slide Tower leads the first goal, and then Malik at the end there on that, you know, free kick of corner,
yeah,
just misses the tackle, leads to that second goal. And then they beat NYCFC apparently 1-0 this week on a closed door friendly in New
yeah.
York.
We don't know anything else about it except
Yeah,
for that.
so
Yeah.
again, I think, new coach bump, but also I think having seen Ryan how he is, I think
Yeah, like I've been at training and seen Ryan with him, and it's much like what I saw with Union too, just, the way he coaches and everything. And I think that the players respond well to him. He's, I think I'm very positive of what I've seen so far.
me too. So all right, we're gonna put a bow in this episode. And we'll be back probably this week actually. Union Two's next match is on Sunday at 3 p.m. Against Huntsville.
Yeah. So finally a home game. I'm thinking it'll probably be back at Subaru Park now that Cote d'Ivoire have moved out of there. I really hope it's back in Subaru Park. But yeah, so definitely people going out and, root on Union 2 and Huntsville, that should be good. And of course that should be the return of Nick Pariano.
It should be.
Yeah.
So until next time, this has been an all new episode of One Team We Ground.
Yeah, make sure to like and subscribe and follow us and leave us comments. We love hearing from you. And again, we would touch on a lot more, but man, we don't want to make this a 2-hour podcast. But yeah,
We'll be back. We have a
yeah,
lot to discuss about Brooklyn FC. So
yeah.
that could be a midweek podcast.
I'll just say if you haven't seen it, go check out CJ Olney's Golasso
Yeah.
against Pittsburgh Riverhounds because
But
it
I
was
do
nice.
feel like that could be a small special episode.
Yeah, we've been up to Brooklyn a couple times lately, so we'd love to talk about that. So, but yeah, thanks for tuning in and looking forward to lots more World Cup stuff too. And yeah, thanks for engaging with us online and everywhere. Go check out our socials and because we've put lots of good content there and more articles coming your way.
So until next time, I'm Kyle.
I'm Jillian.
We'll see you at the game.